or whichever platform you'll be broadcasting to. But it also means that our internet speed, our upload speed, needs to be capable of consistently pushing that amount of data to our broadcasting platform. Now, I'll link this page down in the resources below, but this is where YouTube suggests which bit rates you should be looking at for the different resolutions. This page is really handy. So this page tells us if we want to broadcast live to YouTube as 720p, the video bit rate should be between 1,500 and 4,000 kilobits per second. If we're doing a 1080p stream, that needs to be 3,000 to 6,000 kilobits per second. Now we can go above, but you really don't want to be going below these numbers for a decent looking, reliable stream. So in this case here, we're going to be doing a 1080p live stream through to YouTube. I'm going to set this to 5,000 kilobits per second because I know my internet will be able to handle that kind of quality. So that's the video quality. We can also make changes to the audio quality here as well. Now I would recommend that you're not going any less than 128. The default here is 160. That's going to give you pretty good results. 192 right up to 320 will give you a high quality audio. So if you want to be broadcasting live with music and those sort of things, and you want to have the highest quality through, then you're going to want to pick a high quality bit rate for your audio as well. Personally, I think anything from 160 to 256 is going to give you great results. But if you're only just speaking to your live stream, then you'll be able to get away with 160. So I'm going to leave it at that. So those are your live streaming settings. If you do want to also be recording settings can be found just below, and you can keep all of your details in there. Now with the main ones being your recording format, you can see the default here is MKV, Matroska video that means, apparently. You might want to switch it to an MP4, very universally recognized format, that one. And you'll also want to adjust your recording quality, because in a lot of cases, you want to actually record a higher quality video than the one that you're streaming out. So higher than 5,000 kilobits per second. And I love the default sort of wording they've got here. They've got high quality, medium file size, indistinguishable quality, large file size, lossless quality, tremendous large file size. So that's going to be highest quality there, but I think it's pretty safe to go high quality, medium file size in most instances. The next area we want to work on is audio. So we click down to audio there. We dive into some of the audio settings. There's really only a couple in here that you need to look at. The rest are going to be fine by the default. The first one is your channels. By default, you want to have this set to stereo, unless you specifically need to be broadcasting in mono or 2.1, 5.1 surround sound. For most people, you're going to want to leave this at stereo. The one that you really want to check in here is your primary audio source, which is your mic, your auxiliary audio. So this one here, not audio 2, 3, or 4. Don't worry about those. Just the first one here. And you want to change this from default to your actual microphone that you've got connected. So for me, it's this Rode NT USB Mini. And make sure that is indeed the microphone that you've got connected to your computer. Now, even if the default setting here is using your correct microphone because of your system settings, I'd still strongly recommend that you're manually setting this to your actual microphone, just so that you don't have any issues down the track. All right, so we move on to video resolution settings on OBS. This is where we get to specify all of our video related settings. For the quality, for the frame rate of the live stream that we're going to be creating, both here in OBS and also to whatever you're going to be pushing out, to YouTube in this case, or even to be recorded. The two of them actually don't need to be the same. So you could actually be working from a higher resolution project in OBS, but broadcasting out to YouTube or recording a video file in a lower scaled resolution. And that's what we get to specify in here. So the default here is that our basic canvas resolution, or our OBS resolution, is at 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p. But the default is saying that we're going to be broadcasting our output at 720p, 1280 by 720. So I'm going to hit this little drop down arrow and I'm going to switch this to 1920 by 1080. Let's make it the same so that both our OBS settings and our output through YouTube is going to be the same at a nice HD quality. You can see here you've also got some high resolutions, 5120 by 2880 or 3360 by 2100. On the output, it doesn't go any higher than 1920 by 1080, but you can actually manually just change them in here if you would like. So you could go 2160 by 3840 to make it 4K. So you could change up the output resolution too if you'd like. So I'm going to leave that at 1920 by 1080. You can also change your frame rate here. It's got it at 60 by default. I'm going to make that 30. Next one down is hotkeys. Hotkeys on OBS is where we can set up shortcut keys to be able to control OBS. So we can create our own keyboard shortcuts to do things like start or stop streaming, start or stop recording, or a heap of other functions that you've got inside of OBS as well. So this is something that's not necessary, but it can really streamline the way that you're able to control and configure everything up and run your live stream while you're actually live. The next tab here in settings is accessibility, which is one of the newer features, which is pretty cool because it helps people who may have a disability or may have some eyesight issues to select colors throughout the interface that better suit them. So there's colors here by default with their color codes, or you can use different colors and select your own color that suits you, which is really cool for those who need it. And down here under advanced, you guessed it, there's a lot more advanced settings in here. I would say that one that I do check here quite often and make sure is selected is to automatically reconnect. So this one here, make sure, so if for whatever reason your internet drops out, it's actually going to automatically attempt to reconnect and to restart your stream with this setting enabled. So we're going to hit OK because we're happy with all our settings. And now we're going to go ahead and set up our scenes for our live streams. So you can see down the bottom left, I've already got one default scene, because there always has to be at least one that's created, but we're going to rename this one just to make it nice and clear. So right click and then hit rename. And let's just call this one main camera. Now for this main camera, we now need to specify which sources we want to have used, which cameras we want to have used in this scene of the main camera. So we're going to go ahead and press the plus button over here on our sources. And here, I'm going to choose video capture device. We've chosen video capture device and we get to rename it here if we like. I'm going to rename this to MacBook webcam. I've just got the webcam today. And now we get to specify which camera we're going to link here to this video source. So if we click here, you can see I'm pretty limited with my choices because I've only got the one camera hooked up, which is just the FaceTime HD camera, the built-in camera on my MacBook. And most modern day computers will have the same. They'll have a built-in camera. So you should at least have that. If you do have other cameras connected to your computer, then they will show up here and you'll be able to choose those. But today we're going to choose this camera. Hello, it works. Here I am. You can see the preset here is set to high. That's great, that's what we want. You can see there are other options there, but we're set at 1920 by 1080, which is high, and these are all lesser quality, so we want to stay on high. And then once you're happy, click OK. And here we are on our main canvas screen there. And you can see in the sources, it's added MacBook webcam, which is the camera that we're seeing right now, which is all great. Now, it is important to know that you aren't just limited to the one camera. I do have just the one hooked up to my laptop, but if you click here and you went video capture device, you'd actually have the option to add more. If there were more, you could add more there. The other options are that you can add all sorts of things. So today I'm going to give you the example of, let's say, a presentation that we could add in. So I've gone image, you can go browse, and then you can select your presentation, and there we go. And if you've got multiple pages to your presentation, you can simply go image again and find the next page of your presentation and hit OK. And you can see down here, you can just simply turn those off and on. You can also change the hierarchy of them. You can move them above each other and choose which one is most important just by clicking and dragging like so. So you could create a really basic stream this way, but where it does become a little bit more complicated is if you've got lots of different layers and lots of different inputs around your sources here, a couple of different screen shares, a couple of cameras, whatever it might be. If you're trying to switch between things while you're live, it's likely you could be clicking the wrong ones and getting frustrated and overwhelmed with all the settings. That's where scenes become really powerful. So we can have one scene just for our main camera, then we might have a scene for a screen share, we might have a scene that we cut to for playing a video animation or something like that. So that's what we're going to set up now, so you can see what that looks like. So we'll get rid of these images here and we'll hit rubbish bin. Yes. Let's add a new scene over here and let's call this presentation. If I could spell correctly, presentation. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we have two scenes set up. Our main camera, hello, and our presentation, which has nothing in it at the moment. So let's set that up quickly. We hit plus, we go image, we find our first image of our presentation, our cover, happy days. Let's add a couple more just so it can look like a real presentation. Okay, so we've got a few there. Now it's brought it in sort of back to front to how I'd like it. So I'm going to put my cover image there and my second image there, just so it's nice and orderly. So 1, 2, 3, and we go down that way. Okay, so now you can see we've got our main camera here and we've got our presentation here, which we can click between in our scenes nice and easily. There's one other scene which I think you might find useful, and that is creating a screen share. Quite often people might want to do that if they're live streaming. So let's go ahead and do that. Hit plus to add another scene. I'm going to call it, you guessed it, screen share. I'm going to go OK. And then over here in our sources, add source, display capture. I'm happy with display capture. You actually can't call it the same as your scene, as you'll see. If I try, it said name is already in use, so it's got to be something different. So even if there's a gap between there, that might work. Okay, so it's automatically hooked up to the screen which I've got running at the moment. Now I actually have two screens going at the moment. Lucky. So let's go ahead and see if it works. If I turn it onto the other screen, cool, it does. So let's hit OK. I'm really happy with that. Now I can switch between all my different scenes. Now, as you can see here, my second display screen is actually really large, so it doesn't quite fit into the screen we have, but you can easily just resize like so and bring into line so it fits our screen. Perfect. And over here, I can move around easily on my screen and easily navigate like so. Another really cool tool you can use through scenes is picture in picture. Let me show you what I mean. First, you go to your screen share. You want to duplicate that. Screen share video, and then you can see it's duplicated it and created screen share with video over here in our source. Now we want to change our source to video capture device. Again, choose your camera. There I am. Hit OK, and as you can see, it's put me on top of that screen share. Now you can resize your camera there. You can bring it down, move it around to wherever you like, and then you can move between your scenes like so. You might want to go full screen, you might want to go back to the screen share video in the corner, or you might get sick of looking at yourself and show the audience the full screen that you are sharing. Now there's one last scene I'm going to add in here which I want to show you, and that is video. It may be an intro video or just a show reel or something like that which you may want to add into your live stream. So let's just call it video. And over here in your sources, select source, and then you're going to want to select media source. Let's call it video highlight, and you can just search on your local files here, browse. Mine's located on the desktop, and then you've got some settings down here. You can loop the video, you can restart playback when source becomes active, you can use hardware decoding when available, show nothing when playback ends. So a few different options, but I'm happy for it to restart playback when source becomes active and then show nothing when playback ends. I'm happy with all of that. And there's my video. And how cool is that? That's playing along. And I can switch back between, and then when I click on it, it goes back to the start to show the video again. Now there are ways to customize your video and your audio even further. If you select your scene, in this instance, it's the main camera, and we've got our MacBook webcam selected. We can go into properties here, and you can see that there's obviously those areas there that we can customize, but we can also add filters. So if you click on filters here, there's a whole range of audio and video filters. This first one up here says audio and video filters. It is actually mainly audio filters. You can see here we've got different things we can do to work with our audio. We've got gain, expander, compressors, everything to sort of improve the audio quality. We've also got video delay down here, which if your video and audio is out of sync, this will help you to sync it all back up. We've got effect filters down here, which will change the video side of things. You've got LUTs if you want to put on a LUT, that's like a filter. You've got chroma key. If you're filming on a green screen or a blue screen, you can chroma key out the background. And you've also got color correction. Let's see what color correction does. This is something that you might want to use. And you can see that you can change the contrast, saturation. You can make yourself really orange if you want, if you like, into that sort of thing. Let's not do that. So you can really get really granular with some of those controls there. Close, happy with that. Now, one of the things I probably would use would be the picture in picture, and I'd probably adjust that. So again, we can click on our screen share with video there. So we want to make sure we click on our video capture device, which is this one here. We go to filters, and now I might want to crop my video a little bit. Let's hit OK, and you can see that I can crop it there, and it will give us a little bit more. Let's make this box a little bit smaller so we can see what we're doing and see what it is doing. So you can see here there's a little bit of extra dead space, what I call on the sides, which is just blocking that background there. So let's see if we can crop. So we want to crop the left. Let's say we can use the arrows to crop. And as you can see, that's going quite slow. So let's choose a number, 300, awesome. And then we want to crop the right side too. Let's go to 60. Great, awesome. And you can see now, it's made that a bit smaller and that fits into that corner nicely. So you might want to try that for your picture in pictures. You can also add text to our live streams as well. Let me show you how you do that. So we've selected our main camera here, and that's where we want our text today. We hit plus, we go to text. Let's call this Tom title. Okay, and then here is where we write our text. I'm just going to put my name in, Tom Rollins, and you've got a few different settings down here which you can do, an outline, drop shadow, whatever you like. I'm going to just keep it pretty plain and simple. You can select your font. Let's go with impact, because I like to make a big impact, and hit OK, and then you can just bring it down and resize accordingly down here. Same goes for logos. If you want to put a logo in, you go plus, you go image, primal video logo, find one of those, locate your logo, here it is on the desktop, and there we go, that easy. You can put it on and you can relocate it to wherever you please. Just put it right there. So yeah, it's really easy to add text and logos to your live streams. And you can obviously turn it off and on as you please down here. Okay, we've done all the hard work. We've set our scenes up. We've got our sources, logos, webcams, screen shares. We've got it all set up. Now it's time to go live. Let me show you how you do that. You simply come down here to start streaming. You can click that and it'll come up with this pop-up box. It says you need to set up broadcast before you can start streaming. So go to manage broadcast and then go to select existing broadcast. We select this one because we've already previously connected our YouTube channel, and so it's all ready to go. So click that, select broadcast and start streaming, and then select that. Okay, it says we've gone live. Down here you can see the minutes clicking along. You can see our CPU usage down here, and you can also see the data we're using up over in the right hand corner there. It'll also tell us if we've dropped any frames and if we've got any issues down there as well. So let's go over to our YouTube studio to see how we're going over there. And you can see I'm live. Over here we've got our chat, so we can chat to our people out there. Hello everyone out there. You can hit that, which is cool. That's really cool. Looks like we've got an excellent connection and that's all working really well. Let's go back to our OBS. Another thing we can do is go to our studio mode, which we spoke about earlier. So this is where, the live stream experts and pros would normally traditionally go in their software. Over in my preview area on the left over here, we can put our presentation and get that queued up, ready to go. And then when we want that to go live, we simply go transition and that will come on like so. And let's say that we want to put our video on next. Again, we hit video and it's queued up over here on our preview screen. And then when we hit transition, when we're ready to go, we can hit that and it's moved on in and the video is playing. And then at any time, of course, if you want to head back to that main camera, you can select so here, there I am, and then you can transition back onto the live screen. And you can click off studio mode just by going down to the bottom right hand side here, clicking studio mode, and we're back up to full screen. So there you have it, guys. That is a complete walkthrough of OBS Studio. I hope I've taught you something, hope you've learned something today and you feel more confident going into your live streaming. Now, if you want to see how OBS stacks up to the other top options out there, check out the videos linked on screen where we compared the best live streaming software for Mac and PC. And don't forget to check out all the resources we have for you linked in the description below, including a link to my channel too if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.